born in. Right planting for Sunday morning. Right planting for Sunday morning. Hey, yeah, it starts feeling time walking. Why you give me that fried plantain and breadfruit? Give me my ackee too. You know how I do. Get me like your vibe when you whipping it up in my kitchen. You tough, green juice dripping a cup, little scallion, onion saute. You know you the party mission all day. Sharply slice right through. No you not play. Sip like a Chardonnay, so that my one yeah.
99.9 WEFM. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Time here in SVG, it is 8:47, and we are back with you for another commentary segment on today's Activated Morning program. In studio, you have, let me use the government name, Gerald Thompson, Dr. Gerald Thompson. We're not going to use the rapper name, all right? And Dianna, Cain, and myself, Roleza, Samuel, all right? So we are your hosts for today's Activated Mornings on this outside looking a little hazy.
Yeah, rain was falling. I'm not
sure it's rain, but yeah, on a hazy Monday morning here in SVG, right? I know in other places it's kind of cold, so I'm gonna take the hazy rather than the cold any day.
Yes, when I was in them people country, I was freezing every minute of every day. Oh, that's probably why I got sick when I came back.
Oh, you know, this place I can never live unless it's in the tropics. Do not call me. Do not call me.
Like my island life, yeah. Anyways, now pretty soon something is gonna take over many of the things that humans do today. And you know what that thing is? AI. Have you heard about AI, artificial intelligence? If you have not, boy, you better start doing some reading, some watching, some listening, right? Because it's here and it's here to stay. And it just might be taking your job. So, I'm reading from a news article from Loop Caribbean News. It says 41% of employers intend to reduce their workforce as AI automates certain tasks. And that is according to a survey from the World Economic Forum, the WEF. Of the hundreds of large companies surveyed around the world, 77% also said they planned to retrain and upskill their existing workers between 2025 and 2030 to work better alongside the AI, according to the same WEF reports. But some other companies, companies did say that they intend to let go of some of their people and to bring the AI on stream fully, right? Now, according to the report, some of the jobs that are going to be threatened are postal service employees, executive secretaries, and payroll clerks. Those are among some of the jobs that employers expect to see the fastest decline in numbers in the coming years. All right. Now, that's either due to AI or other trends. Graphic designers, legal secretaries are also just outside the top 10 jobs that are in decline. Your job that may be taken over by the robots that we created. All right. In contrast, AI skills are increasing in demand. Nearly 70% of companies plan to hire new workers with skills to design AI tools. Imagine if you come to design the robot that takes your job. Anyways, or to train the robot that takes your job. But right, they gotta hire these people to design AI tools and enhancements, and the 62% intend to hire more people with skills to work better alongside AI, according to the latest survey that was conducted in 2024. Right? On an optimistic note, though, let's put a smile on your face. The report says that the main impact of technologies such as generative AI on jobs could lie in their potential to augment human skills through human-machine collaboration. Again, imagine you train this machine well. Yay, look at you, A+. And then the boss say, all right, time to go. I'm going to use my AI. Bye-bye. It was a pleasure having you. Right? So some persons are looking to have the human machine collaboration, so they say, rather than a direct replacement, particularly given the continued importance of human-centered skills.
All right, so even people like Dianna back in the day, as a teacher, her job could be taken over by AI. All right.
Well, listen, I think the article said many things. I'm glad you read it, Dianna, because, and Roleza was picking up on it too. The headline, 41% loss. But it then went on the next sentence, 77% of companies are looking to retrain their staff in other skills. Today, competition. How do you make things more efficient and so forth? Do we still ride horses and need a blacksmith to shoot the horse?
We probably should have been riding horses.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe to shoot a donkey. You know what I mean? But the thing is that, unfortunately, the world is changing. And the article later on, and other articles, went on to not just emphasize jobs that will be losses, but jobs that will be created. And one thing AI won't do, it will not produce what we call empathy. It will not create content. You still need the creative touch. It's not going to do carnival in terms of, it's going to do some designs. So the graphic designer may be gone, but the person who come up with the idea of what to do basically is still going to be needed. So it's going to create new jobs. So we should not just look, oh boy, a whole ton of jobs lost, certain type of jobs lost. But the article goes on, and other articles go on, many other articles go on to talk about what kind of jobs are going to be created, because you have to manage the machine. The machine ain't going to manage you. It's fair of that. But
Alex, I watched some movies from back in the day when the machines do take over.
Yes, we do have that. And there would be a fear of that. There would be a fear of that, and it could possibly happen. But because it could possibly, crossing a road, I could get knocked down. Doesn't mean I'll never cross a road, or an airplane, or car crash. Doesn't mean I should never drive again because I won't be in a car crash or cross a road. So there's going to be lots of jobs they create. I tell you, on Thursday, the National Center for Technological Innovation, of which Williams is the chairman, and Petrus Gums is the manager and so forth, they're having a conference at the NIS conference room on the future of technology and so forth. Is seriously going. Where St. Vincent is going. And they have to embrace AI. You understand? They have to embrace new tech, but mainly content creation, getting people to create. Don't run from it. Let's join it. You understand? And let's shape it and create it. That's what I say.
Yeah, I suppose with every couple generations, there's always going to be this new fear that emerges in terms of technology taking over. Yeah. When industrialization happened in terms of machines and factories being open and machines doing the work of 10 persons, I'm sure that fear existed. When it was that the computer took over, I'm sure that fear existed. All right. So I just think at this point in time, we have to find a way to embrace it. I was having a conversation with a friend on Friday, and it was a parents teachers meeting. I guess it was PTA meeting or something of that sort. And she was saying that the teachers were complaining about the students using AI for their schoolwork, right? And what the parents were saying is that rather than teachers being, I'm using the word combative for lack of a better word, but combative in the fact that children are using it, Rather, the teachers need to find a way to embrace and to incorporate it, because AI is not going anywhere. Even when we send emails, we realize that there's that whole predictive responses that tend to come up, right? You're trying to reach or connect with, let's say, somebody in customer service internationally. You're no longer getting a human. The human is going to be the very last resort after you've exhausted everything else, right? So that is something that we do have to embrace. I would have to say, though, that what concerns me is the use of AI when it comes to the making of machinery for manual work. Because I've seen instances where, and it's good and it's bad in a sense, because I noticed there was a report that I looked at last year, and in a particular restaurant, they no longer needed to employ persons to make a burger, right? One of the reasons why it is that they got the machines, because they said that they weren't able to find persons to work. So we already know that in some sectors, there is a decline in terms of the labor force, right?
At that pay wage.
And yes, pay might have been actually the issue, or just lack of human resources, and for other reasons that may come along with lack of human resources, right? So they actually had a machine that was making the burger. Now, why it works to our advantage as a customer is because if you have a machine that's going to be making the burger, it means that that taste that you get initially, once the recipe and everything is perfected, every time you go back to that restaurant, you are going to get the same quality taste. So in that way, that is a plus, right? Because, if you have human intervention in something, sometimes something might be too salty, maybe too oily, too this or too that. But
human intervention.
But if you
The
have, if you don't,
the person's hand was heavy.
hand heavy, all kind of thing, right? So, so on one hand, it can be good and it can be bad. I noticed that also, I think with the brewery, when an article came out of them using, I think it was a robot to do packing. I think it was packing. Many persons commented under the article, well, look at people losing their jobs, right? Now, I'm not sure if persons actually did lose their jobs or persons were reassigned into other areas. But this is what we have to embrace. And maybe even in a way, again, I would always be an advocate for, if you think that you are in a position where you're to lose your job, try to create your own job, right? Somehow, in some whatever way, try to create your own job with the skill set that you already have, right? So I don't think it's something that we can necessarily fight, but...
Roleza, Dianna, have you heard of the slide rule?
No.
Huh?
No.
Well, when I was going to school in England, I learned how to use the slide rule. And then when calculators came in, there was a big campaign, don't allow calculators into the classroom. It was just around the end of the 90s when, just after 2000, when cell phones came in, there was a ban on cell phones in certain schools. But we wanted people to use cell phones. I remember it was a big issue. I'm not going to go into detail, but today, there's nothing wrong with somebody Googling something because there's now content. But there's so much content. See, go to the library and find a book. So you got to go to the
encyclopedia and you have to go through.
And you go to the book and then you can't find the book because the edition is 10 years old.
Or somebody tear out the page.
And tear out the page because they get there before you. And now you can Google it and so forth. Whether, finding information is important. Long ago, there was always, I used to see people tearing out pages and cheating and all that kind of thing. But
you know what, Doc, to be very honest, I am not going to do business with a company where if I place a call to that company, I'm not getting a human voice. If you see, I have to call and, okay, let's say you tell me, okay, if I know that the extension, if I can't get the extension, dial 0. If my second option is just to dial 0, and that's fine. But to go through that list of things, no.
Roleza, you're saying that today,
No.
but there's some prejudice too. When we were big into call center and work, when somebody calls and they hear Indian person answer the phone, or a Vincent Caribbean person answer the phone, they say, I ain't doing no business if that call is going out to the country to come back. Now you're saying you ain't doing business.
Because I still like that human element where especially when it comes to customer service,
Well,
I need to be able to hear somebody on the phone. You see, this sort of thing about going through numbers and going through numbers, it is most frustrating. And those are the type of people who I would last want to do business with.
can you say the customer service aspect is one of those things where jobs are going to be created? And all these things, strategy, communication, tech management, managing the machines, content creation, this is where the job. So that young persons, you may not necessarily get into this field, but orient your education to where things like AI are going to be. Because competition, things have to be done. We complain about inflation. Inflation has to be in control. AI is one of those ways in which inflation may well be able to be controlled a little bit because it may reduce costs, right?
How?
You know?
Also, reducing costs, but sometimes might also put certain persons on the breadline too. So, especially if you don't have those technical skills, to even transfer that knowledge. So is it that we have to upskill? Everybody needs to upskill?
Ecuador and those places used to produce bananas cheaper than we did. And we invented fair trade where we would still be paid because people from the third world, their cost of production was higher. So that was a fair approach. But over a period of time, that still faded. People want a cheaper banana in some respect. And so fair trade went on for a good period of time, carried us for a decade or two, but it eventually didn't win the game. Being efficient seems to be the call of the day.
Yeah, but I suppose sometimes it's to what end as well, huh?
Yeah.
It's to what end.
Well, the consumer will determine. If it's left to you or left to me, we will give Caribbean people all the jobs. But then China war, cheaper, you know what I mean? It's funny. Who's going to make the decision, Roleza?
As we talk about this, I remember in a previous job, there was something to do with construction, and they wanted to do these modular prefabricated construction. And I was like, I don't think that's going to fly in the Caribbean, because one of the things, no, hold on, let me tell you why I said it at the time, right? And I'm not talking about the prefabricated homes. I'm talking about like large structures, right? Because one of the things, especially when governments want to say that they're constructing a particular facility, you want to be able to say that you are employing such and such and such number of persons. But if you're going to do something that's prefabricated, a large structure, then how is this going to give you a plus when it comes to votes? Because you need to be able to quote this number of persons on a work site.
Well, I am told that the prefab homes that you mentioned, which are housed out in Langley Park in the old EBG building, are beautiful.
No, I'm not doubting the quality of that. I'm not doubting the uses, not doubting the quality. But when it comes to large structures, particularly in the Caribbean, we like to be able to quote the number of persons employed at the modern port working currently. So it's going to take us a while in the Caribbean.
You're right. Other things. Quote something else. Don't worry, them smart. They go figure out how to quote something else.
All right, so we are going to head on out at this time as it is a 9:04. So what jobs will AI take over by 2030? So you could do a quick Google and see if your current job is listed in those things. All right,
and let me add, what jobs will AI create? Do that at the same time.
I like how doctors always come with the positivity, but all right. So what jobs will be lost and what will be created? All right.